Hey guys, it's got reels. Seriously, we're here with Cloudy. I'm the doctor, and then we have Ghost, our editor, joining us, and we're gonna do a little. We're gonna start something new today. All right, guys. Great. Thank you for supporting us on the Guiding Table. We're still gonna do that. We still love card games. It's predominantly gonna be being Clouds. But the other part of us is we like media. We like thinkies, and we like talking about them. We talk about it off camera all the time. So we're like, you know what? People need to hear this opinion, and people need to know. We do have access to early screenings in our area, so we'll oftentimes get to watch the movie a little early, and then it's like, all right, we can just be one of those thought bubbles that pop up as soon as the movie comes out. So today, for our first episode, as you can see, we're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. I was hyped for it. I thought it was a contender for Super Fantastic Summer. So it would have been Super Fantastic Summer World or Super Jurassic Fantastic Summer. But you'll find out very soon how we felt about it. But I just want to show off this first. Yeah. Yeah. We got matching bracelets from this thing. Yeah, so we want to commemorate it. But like I said, without further ado, there's going to be so the setup today is going to be non-spoiler section, and then we'll just talk about the rest of our feelings with full citing which scenes it came from and all that other stuff. In the other half, we will give you a warning before we switch over. Without further ado,
you'll know.
Let's get some reels. So I guess let's just talk about just general vibes, feelings about the movie. While I drink my Jurassic Park tea.
Well, I guess I'm like come from the perspective of I have never seen a Jurassic Park movie. Actually, I know. You guys can take me, feed me to the T-Rex, man, or the T-Rex, I should say. But I've never seen the film Jurassic Park film before, at least all the way through. Like, of course, when it shows up on cable as a kid, I've seen like bits and pieces, but I never sat through and watched the entire thing. And this was my opportunity, I guess, to be onboarded into the series. And I was told that it was this, most of them don't really have like a all the way through plot line, like where you can just jump in on the way. And I will say that the film was not too hard to follow. There was a little bit of like exposition that they give you about the events of the Jurassic World aspect of the universe. And I understood that aspect of it. It was enough. It was, and then like the first 5 minutes of the film. But as a person who's not been like a fan, like a lifelong fan of the films, and like have a surface level knowledge about the series as well as dinosaurs in general, as a movie, I didn't think it was that good. I'm gonna be real. I thought it was after sitting on it, we watched it last night, I give it like a 5.5 out of 10. It was that's just my early review. It may change throughout this video, but like right now I put it at a bona fide mid. There was parts like the dialogue I think is the biggest offender. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the dialogue was very
tongue-in-cheek.
Chalky, like it was tongue-in-cheek. The jokes were like baby food. The joke, a lot of the stuff was like
shock factor.
This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it was some shock factor. It was moments like I guess I don't want to get into it, but there's moments where it's like people are supposed to know each other. And I, as the audience, did not believe that they knew each other for years. The dialogue they were talking about was just like, this is either cringe or you just guys didn't have any chemistry. And it was like that across, or both. It was like that across most of the film, in my opinion. I mean, with the main crew and the family crew, and that was like the weakest link is the dialogue. another thing that I'm just gonna say is on me. Honestly, I'll give the floor to one of you guys. That's my biggest offender. Is the dialogue. I want to see what you guys think is like one of your things that you thought stood out about the film. That's why I gave it that score. I do have other opinions, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to talk about it. How about you, Ghost? So what did you?
Yeah, I think Ghost a good segue because what I failed to mention was we have three different experiences with the film franchise. I think have the most experience from what I gathered yesterday when we watched it.
Have you seen every film?
I've of course seen the original. I don't really remember like the second and third ones, but I've seen all the Jurassic Worlds. So I'm more familiar with Jurassic World, but of course the original Jurassic Park
one of
is
those
like,
guys.
Number one. Yeah. So going into this, yeah. So going into this, I was not expecting it to be anywhere near the original. I just wanted it to be better than at least the last one, at least Fallen Kingdom, because I actually rather like the Jurassic World trilogy. I just didn't like the last one, so all I needed was for it to be better than that one, and it is, but it's not really a high bar to clear. So, I can only give it so much credit for that. I can only give it so much credit. So, to kind of piggyback off what you said, the script being the weakest, like the dialogue being the weakest, like to me, it read like a first draft. Like they had a first draft and then they just didn't change it.
Yeah.
Like that's what it reads. Like, and yeah.
Almost like a read through. Like they were, even the actors, like they were reading through the lines. Like, okay, this is how you want to block the scene. Okay, let's do it again. They said, no, that's great.
It's just
cut. It's like,
amazing.
Like, and even beyond the script, just the whole movie just seemed rushed. It just seemed very rushed. Like they didn't have much time to like really get the vibe going on. Like it just seemed very, very rushed. I think that's my main thing. Like this movie doesn't really have much reason to really exist. I know that sounds cliche to say, but
it had no umps, no soul.
Like it just exists so they can capitalize off the IP. Like that's really the only reason this exists. The only real reason. Yeah.
I definitely understand that. Like there were scenes where it was just like, hey, product placement. Even like the way the score sounded. Yeah. It was just like, don't you remember the original? But we're gonna like change it, but not even really change it. Just like chop it up, cut it. Right when you think you're about to like the music, the score, it was like, nah, we're gonna cut that piece. We're gonna try to re-alter it in a way.
Yeah.
He's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually so confused by the score that I looked up who first of all, I don't remember who it is even right now.
Like Michael,
but during the middle of the movie I looked it up. I was like who's this? No, I was like, there was like one little lick that it was like Michael Giacchino-esque. I was like, there's no way he wrote the score. Like I would be feeling the score. No. And apparently he did the music for a little women.
A bunch of
Little Women's pretty good, but anyway, but that.
Yeah.
What'd you score? What do you score it, Ghost, before I say my piece and go into spoilers?
I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 6. I know that seems pretty high based on what I said, but I think that seems a little high, but because I do think it's entertaining by default. I do think it's entertaining, and I don't. Yeah, there are worse.
There are worse movies.
Yeah, and it's like
I'll give you that.
To be honest, I feel like all the actors, they're not at fault. Like they do what they can with what they're given. Like I don't think it's like any one actor's fault. I really don't.
All right. Okay.
Like
okay.
Like
you know what?
I can see.
You're
that.
right.
Even the worst.
I can see that.
Yeah,
even the unlockable characters were gone really fast.
Even the character, once we get into spoilers, the one character that I think we can agree is like the worst in the movie. I don't think the actor is bad. I just think it's just what he's given. What he was given.
What was given. I can see that.
It was almost like we'll talk about that. I have a lot of opinions. All right, so you're giving it a 6. I'm giving it a. It felt like Jurassic Park 3 for the people who actually like watched all the films and
you've seen all the films, right, dog?
I've seen all the films multiple times. So it felt like Jurassic Park 3. That's what really felt like. Very disjointed, almost like it shouldn't have happened. But like still enjoyable because it's a Jurassic movie. So, but I think that's the closest approximation I have. It was definitely better than Dominion, in my opinion.
The first Jurassic World?
No, Jurassic World is... So it was Jurassic World, then it was Fallen Kingdom, then it was Dominion.
Kingdom, then Dominion.
Well,
So,
that
third
was a trilogy, and then this is like a whole separate new... Yeah.
And then this is just like an isolated thing.
This is an
but
isolated
in the
thing.
world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like Ballerina.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I thought. That's what it was. Just like it's basically like the Jurassic World as like MCU,
Yeah, basically.
Jurassic World,
Basically.
and then it's Rebirth to be like
Sure.
okay.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But Rebirth, it just felt so like. I'm glad they didn't lean too hard into like established characters like him and like Ian Malcolm.
There are definitely references.
It just felt so there were references, but it didn't feel like part of the world. Like
Yeah,
like
I didn't feel no
it didn't feel like
connection
how
to
Mandalorian
nothing.
felt for Star Wars. Let me say it that way. Like it's a spin-off, but
Or
like it
even
doesn't have its own
Andor.
identity because the identity is poor. Yeah, even Andor. Yeah.
But as someone who hasn't seen any of the films, I didn't feel like I needed to see any of the other films. And
Sure.
that's not really a good thing, but it's like it's a good thing for me to like just watch it. But some of you guys are fans of the IP, I didn't feel no connection, no callbacks. Nobody in the theater was like, "Hey!" Like when a old like a nostalgic moment happens or anything like that. It was none of that at all. And
Oh, sorry. I think the only thing I'll say
no, you're good.
This non-spoiler part is there was only one sequence in the movie that really felt like a true Jurassic Park movie, and it was like in the middle. Yeah, it's in the middle.
I think I know what part you're talking about too. I think I know what part,
then
yeah.
the rest of the movie just but
And then it was whatever for the rest of the movie.
I think my biggest
yeah.
issue was that it felt less like a Jurassic Park or World movie and more just like a generic monster movie. Because honestly, the island that they were on felt less like anything in the previous movies, like Isla Nublar. It felt like Skull Island. Honestly, It felt like they were like on this. It just didn't. Yeah.
That's what I said too when I watched it. It just felt like the world itself is threatening, but there's no like. I'll say like I've seen the iconic scenes from Jurassic Park, in the original trilogy, where it's like good girl thing, like the things like that. It's like there's moments where you're like identifying with these certain dinosaurs. You're like, oh, that's the guy. Like this is the one. And they kind of tried to have that, but when we talk about the spoilers, you'll see like as a person who doesn't know nothing about dinosaurs, and we're in like at this point in the Jurassic series, we're in complex dinosaurs where like these are not like you're gonna read this in the textbook, see it like first. Dinosaurs.
I'll talk about spoilers.
The main the secondary dinosaur that was the villain, I'm gonna say. I didn't know what that dinosaur was. The final boss is a special thing, but the secondary one, was that like a name? Like the one.
Oh yeah, no, that's not named dinosaur. That's
another special thing too.
It's a special thing that was for this movie. That's what.
So the special things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, all of these dinosaurs are like mutated.
No, you
like there's only like a couple that are like truly.
Yeah, and
dinosaurs. Yeah.
I feel like the 3 dinosaurs that we're gonna get into
that we were hunting for. Yeah,
those were mainly like lore accurate. but everything at the end was just, hey, here's like,
hey,
I wasn't,
but
against the design.
I definitely want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about that definitely. So that's something that's really important to me. I think in this film, I want to say that to wrap up my thoughts on the non-spoiler section.
Yeah,
the good parts about the film, the island wasn't ugly. I think they did some stuff in South America. It looked pretty nice for what it was. And, I mean, of course, Mother Nature always looks really beautiful. So I can never, flame that.
Always?
Nature does overall look pretty well.
When they don't CGI it, yeah. Sure.
When they don't CGI it. There was some scenes where it's like, come on, guys. Anyway, I also will give it to the... I actually like the idea of the plot.
Yeah.
Like the idea of it and how they would say, like, in a real world, this is what would really happen. I do commend that. Where it's like, hey, people lose interest of the dinosaurs over time. Like, once you get that flash in the pan, interest out the way, nobody really cares. And then how, like, us as humans, the way we've modified the environment, dinosaurs really can't survive. I actually like that aspect. And even the aspect of the whole reason the plot is moving forward, which I'm not sure if the trailers talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But all of those things, I like the idea. Now, the execution...
yeah...
5.5 out of 10. So
it just felt kind of empty in that regard.
Very, 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 very empty. The ending falls flat except for one feel good aspect of it. I got a lot of thoughts about how the film really transpired, as well as what I feel like they could have done better when it comes to the plot and things like that. Any other thoughts we have before we go to spoilers?
I'm conceding my time.
Yeah, the spoilers. We really want to talk about the spoilers.
No.
Anything from you, Ghost?
That's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah.
All right. So
all right. This is your official warning.
Spoilers.
Yeah, someone get River Song.
3, 2, 1. Spoilers are happening.
Bro,
listen,
what the?
Guys.
Can we talk about? There was no. Okay, so they got this freaking professor character here. Like, he's about to do something with these dinosaurs, but they're all mutated. So what was his point? What was his freaking point? He didn't ID anybody. What were we doing though? He was brought on the trip to ID and help with the procurement of the DNA.
But they're trying to catch the DNA.
They had the tracker on most of these guys.
Yeah, so it was like, what? We didn't need him to scout or be like, okay, they should be over here in this region. No, we had Scouter.
Well, I mean, that was for the Mosasaur, right? And then, what? I don't even remember. Allosaur. I think it was Allosaurus. That wasn't Allosaurus. It was Ultrasaur. It was Ultrasaur. They were looking for. They just stumbled upon the Ultrasaurus. They stumbled
upon the Ultrasaur in the water, and they found the other two through the tracker, and it was like, okay,
no. The only one that found the tracker is the Mosasaurus.
Mosasaurus?
The Ultrasaur was not tracked. They just went through the jungle.
To get it because of the jungle, and they just happened to come out to the area. I thought they were tracking it.
Because they were. It felt so. The scene was kind of an homage to. That's why I said the whole movie felt like Jurassic Park 3, because that whole, like, how tall the grass was and everything happened in that movie, and that's when the raptor attack happened, and it was just like you would have people just get attacked and then bring into the tall grass. Yeah. So when an Ultrasaur came up, it was like, it was the herd and everything. Hit my mic. It was the herd and everything. It was like, oh, it's a little subversion.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is actually one of the best scenes, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually one of the best scenes. It was nice. I was with my girlfriend. She was like, "Oh, that's cute," because she ain't never watched these films either. It was a nice moment. They got the DNA sample with no issue.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Super easy.
Very nice cinematography. And here's the scene. The scene itself, when it pans out at the end of it, and it shows all the Ultrasauruses. Like, I think it's Ultrasauruses.
It's a long neck boy. That's what it is.
The long neck boys.
It may be
all the long neck boys
Because I don't know the difference between that and a Brachiosaurus. Yeah, it was mutated, right?
Yeah.
Because also in Jurassic Park 3, we had the Spinosaurus. So I was like, oh, they're just calling back. I'm thinking it was just callback after callback after callback. We never had the Mosasaur be like one of the featured dinosaurs in one of these movies yet. So it's like it felt like, all right, cool, we'll give them the whole first act. And then it's like, oh, but the Spinosaurus are here. And like, oh, there's a pack of them? That's pretty, like, the main villain of Jurassic Park 3 was the Spinosaurus, yeah. And that Spinosaurus was deadly. It was like they were having a trouble with just the one. But when you have a whole pack of them, it just felt like they were crocodiles or alligators.
Yeah, and they didn't do too much except for kill like people that we knew were gonna die.
Yeah.
And the Mosasaurus itself was threatening because it looked like a big whale, and it was like, hey, I'm gonna keep tipping over the boats, and it was very effective. It was very effective at tipping over those boats. I'm not gonna lie. And that scene was threatening, and it also set up the whole like pharmaceutical guy bad, which was like we already as the audience knew like, okay, he's the real villain here because of his actions with the member of the family. I forgot the older sister's name.
Yeah,
beats me.
Unlikable girl and unlikable guy is Xavier. I knew his name was Xavier, but unlikable guy. And then you got King Papa. The dad was actually the MVP of the film.
Yeah.
And then mini MVP was Bella. Isabella was
no. It goes Bella, Dolores.
Shout out to Dolores. Dolores was cool. They did that. I know they did that just to be like, let's try to sell some animals. But
yeah, that's gonna go hot at the parks. Yeah. Go. So, bring us in, man.
The number two. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. How do you feel about the film? What's your like big feeling once we get to this spoiler aspect? Because we had a lot of hot stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I guess my biggest thing is I don't like how most of the dinosaurs, except for a few of them, they felt just like generic monsters. That's what I didn't really like.
Yes.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that because again, they were technically threatening, but like with the dinosaurs from the previous movies, they were very intelligent and they made it very clear that they were intelligent. But here, they just seem very mindless and very just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
I mean, that was one of the points, right? There was a whole dialogue scene about, the reason why dinosaurs lived for so long. Because they didn't have their intelligence to kill them early.
Yeah, that was in the dialogue.
They
but
did
like,
say that, which
you
is
don't
like,
really
I don't
see
agree,
that.
though.
You don't really see that.
Yeah,
they
but I don't agree.
They were just like mindless. I don't know. It just didn't really work.
I mean, they all feel like they fit their roles, right? All the hunting dinosaur, all the predator dinosaurs were just.
That's what I want to talk about as well.
Getting them.
No dinosaur felt like they had a lack for a better term, like play style. Like they didn't have a style of how they would actually go about taking you out. It was just like, I'm coming at you. They did have a little bit of like variance when it comes to like, of course, in the third act with the mutated dinosaurs, they were a little smarter and they kind of thought. But like the T-Rex scene, it was very similar to the Spinosaurus scene on the beach, where it's like, okay, we're gonna do big thing that blocks majority of the screen. I'm gone. Oh, where am I at? Jump scare! And it's like, okay, you got me on the beach, but you really didn't. But you got me on the beach. Now you're doing the same thing with this rap scene, which was borderline pointless because it was like, we didn't really need you to go for this boat.
Yep.
The boat ain't there. Oh, it's a raft. And now she gotta explode it. We know it's gonna wake them up. So it's like, now we gotta do this whole, oh my god, life or death scene. And it felt like, why are we even doing it? Like, once you saw the boat was fake, go back over. There's no reason to keep searching. This is the big bad. Like, T-Rex is big bad. Why are we playing around here? You want to drag this whole raft all the way out the thing? I'm like, listen, man, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Same thing with the Spinosaur thing. Why are we putting our back to the beach when we know it's dinosaurs there? And you putting your back to the beach.
Like,
she was tired, I guess, but
I guess okay.
They had no awareness though. They couldn't hear.
No awareness, like
Shite.
I get it. Dinosaurs are like moving. They ain't like what. I remember this. how we getting boom, 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 stepping from certain dinosaurs, and now it's the T-Rex is lightning fast, don't make no sound. Whoa, where did that come from? Is this how they work? I don't know that much about dinosaurs, but this is how they work. T-Rexes was able to be swift and silent.
I mean, he was like in a marsh, so like I guess
it's no slishing around in the water, no nothing.
I will say, yeah, honestly, when they were doing that chase scene,
he was getting up.
When he got in the water and was swimming, first off, that was really well animated and stuff. But anyway, it just didn't feel like there was no sound.
It was no sound. I'm like, man, the T-Rex is like big, threatening, like doom, doom. Like even when he's in full chase, it should be some impact, some bass to this. It was nothing.
I mean, like in the first movie, established that, right?
I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that. Here, he just felt like we're gonna get past this, go to the next part. Yep. And it's the T-Rex. And he's on the mug. Pull your mug up. Put your mug up. He's on the mug. This is the one I know. This is the guy I know, and he was an afterthought.
Rexy is his fan favorite.
And so I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. I don't want to. I want to talk about the plot and the ending and stuff towards the end. But like, as for that, you're absolutely right, Ghost. The dinosaurs did not have any identity. They just felt like mindless, almost like mindless creatures. There was a little bit of variance towards the end of the film, but for the most of the regular ones, except for the Mosasaurus, who was like, okay, I'm actually going to try to tip the boat.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. I mean, T-Rex was like, I'm going to swim at you. I try to... Oh, man. I missed. Well, going back home. Like, okay, and then... what was it? The Quetzalcoatl? I don't know how to say the full name. The flying one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Something along the lines of that name.
They were
obviously not sure.
They were in. But, I think like a slightly smaller version was in Park 3 as well because they had the aviary. Yeah.
What I'll say is, as someone who has never watched a Jurassic Park film, this film did not subvert my expectations at all. I pretty much knew exactly who was gonna die, when they were gonna die. Like,
I got names for the dinosaurs that we encountered.
All right,
so okay. Yeah, so the T-Rex is a Mega T-Rex, didn't feel Mega. Then we got the distro. The D stands for
Distress.
Distortus.
Distortus. Yeah, it's Distortus.
Huh? Distortus. Yes, Distortus.
Distortus Rex.
Yep. And then we have Mutodon is the other one that is new.
The other junior, the second junior.
Mutodon the one that can fly and yeah.
All right. So what about the big three that they had to get the samples from?
All right, so it was the big. I mean, obviously we know the Mosasaur. I'm gonna try to see. It's the Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatlus, and then what was the peaceful one?
And then it was the Ultrasaur, I think, right? Let me see.
Spoiler wise, I'll say that's the best scene. The Ultrasaurus scene. That was like the best scene.
I found the toy.
Titanosaurus. Titanosaurus. Yeah, there we go. So the Titanosaurus, that was like the best scene when it was like the mama eat papa scene, male.
Yep. Like the frills. It was like I said. I mean, the dinosaur CGI was done pretty well.
Long tails and stuff, and they were rapping together, almost Avatar-esque, and they were like, "Oh, love," and they kind of made a little heart shape. Oh,
yeah, very long tails.
Yeah. And the doctor gets to touch it and get his moment where he's like, "I actually got to. This is my lifelong dream to touch a dinosaur alive," and all this stuff like that, and that was nice. And you got to see the branching out shot where all of the Titanosaurus were out there, and I want you guys to remember this because there's a part of like this story. There's two aspects of the plot that I really didn't like, and I think they could have changed to make this a better film, as well as the ending. But before we talk about that, we're gonna talk about some of these characters. So I'm trying to remember the characters. We got Zora. I think it's Scarlett Johansson's character.
Can we talk about how there was no back to the first character, like the lack of someone identifying these dinosaurs for the audience?
Yes,
is a problem.
I feel like we can tie this into the plot. I got this in the plot as well because you're right. We did need a researcher character. We do need a researcher character.
A better researcher.
But I want to talk about the. No. I'm gonna give the doctor credit because it's like they needed the doc to get the initial way out there and to figure it out. Even though I think they should have just took out the whole we have a scanner thing and have him be like, I have to scout the location of where they usually are, and then he would have been like, okay, that's it right there, like pointing out and stuff, and then doing some exposition for the audience to be like, hey, this dinosaur is known for blah 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 blah. Cool, thank you. I'm now smarter, but
didn't have that.
But we did need a researcher who did not leave the original island, because if we talk about the first initial scene, which is what all the marketing and poster and all the stuff is talking about, which is a poo scene. That scene was garbage. The opening scene was absolute garbage, where the researchers are in the research lab. Dude's eating a Snickers. Oh, it's time to go to the most dangerous goddamn dinosaur here. Drops Snickers paper, shrugs. It gets blown by a couple vents and goes into the door and jams the door. Okay, that's fine. The door jam causes not only the wing of this place, not only the area where this D-Rex is, but the entire facility to have to do a system reboot because a door got jammed. And we're handling mutated dinosaurs. What are we doing here, guys? Open the door! Take the key! 1, 2, 3! No, you're cooked! I'm not opening nothing! That boy aggressive. You're mine.
Just like
you're done. Just like the poster, guys. Just like the it's on this side. Just like the poster. You're done. And so I don't. That whole scene was very. I already knew that the movie's gonna be mid. Once I saw that first scene, I looked. Yeah. Doctor on my right. I said, "Oh, this is about to be poop. This is about to be mid. This is about to be so mid because the product placement caused the whole thing. The product placement was too much. Red vines. I don't want no red vines, guys. I don't want no red vines. Okay, you fed it to Dolores. Hey, get some red vines. No. And then that's supposed to set up the whole thing of like this reason why this place was abandoned. Zora's character, she was just one note the entire film. I feel like her, even when she changed her heart and was like, I don't want the money and all that stuff, she never spoke like in a different tone. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
There was no range. It was just like, okay, hey, doctor, no.
Did you hear about the zeros though?
Yeah, like it was just like the same. And the crew, I'm not gonna say they weren't likable, but besides Duncan, I didn't care. I knew they were fodder.
Yep.
I knew all of them were fodder. I didn't care. You have dickhead guy, he dies in easily in Act 1. In Scouty Girl, she dies Act 1. And then of course when we get to Act like 2.5, other navigator guy dies. Like, I didn't care.
Like, we literally don't even know their names.
They weren't likable enough. Yeah, they weren't likable enough. I just...
And we didn't invest in them as an audience. Like, there was no reason to invest because we were like literally, they're gonna die. Whatever.
I didn't care.
They were kill count graphics, bro. Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's their whole point. The whole point was be
and kill it's counts. Like, of course, the three biggest names, the three biggest stars, you knew they were gonna get out of this alive. Like, even towards the end, when it looked like Duncan, which Duncan I thought
was about to be gone.
Honestly, I wish that they would have. That I would have. Yeah.
Me too.
I wish that they would have, because I felt that would have left a dramatic punch. I really do.
Yeah, to be like, damn, we lost everything, we didn't get no money, but I'm still gonna do the right thing. No, I got out here with the guy, like the main guy who was the leader of this ragtag group. I'm here, so he gets to go see his daughter. It's like his sacrifice didn't feel as much because it was like, my kid, I'm gonna do everything for the kid. I'm so like standing up for the kids. Hey, don't you go over there, girl. I gotta find the kids. I gotta do this. and it's like final sacrifice. Gets the flares. Come on, you Rex. Come here. Yeah. And he goes far. He goes real out there. Like, they definitely got a time to get that boat. He was out of there. I was like, damn, why he go so far? I thought he was going to throw the flare or something. Yeah. That was out there.
I was like, he wanted to be Ian Malcolm so bad.
Yeah. Come on! Come on! Come on here! I was like, all right, bro.
Oh my God, you're doing so much. You're doing so much.
And then, of course, the flare goes out. Get on the boat! We gotta go! We're talking! The boat! And then they going on, oh my God, ducking! Flare shot.
It felt like, since they're like, even the characters in the film were like, oh, it's no stakes. We can go back and save them. We can go back and try to figure out again.
Like,
I was like, huh?
There was no sacrifice into, like, I have to go back. I have to go do this. It was almost no sacrifice. Except
it was like, we gotta go help them. They capsized. They capsized in the middle of the ocean. We gotta go help them.
They had a consequence because they went over there, and then the whole scene happened because of that. But inversely, that's what we had to go get anyway. So the Mosasaur would have probably did this whole thing anyway. Why was the Spinosaurus just sitting there doing a dance party with them? I don't know. I have no clue. And
they kind of got lucky the Spinosaurus didn't attack the little boat. All right, go ahead.
It just felt so weird that the dinosaur just felt so out of, immediately it wasn't a threat anymore. Like, for some reason. Like, for them to just immediately go back to get him. It just felt so... It just felt weird. It just felt really weird. Like, I don't know. I just don't think...
We're
listen, 5 clicks away to get in the Mosasaur, guys. Yeah. Oh, we got to turn around and go the opposite direction and go save the family.
Yeah, no, he's talking about the D-Rex part. We get ducking off the side. Where's the D-Rex?
The D-Rex didn't show up in the movie.
D-Rex is like, the flare, yummy, I guess I'm full. What?
Yeah.
They didn't want to play anymore.
So... Since we're talking about the ending, first of all, we have a Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning ending again with the villain who falls flat so hilariously. Whereas, like, I guess I thought that it would have been better if you played off of the whole fact with the helicopter coming around, which was a cool scene to show like the helicopter lights and then out the smoke, the D-Rex is like, "Yo, this is
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool scene.
That was really cool. But you could have saved that scene. Have it to where he's like, "Hey, doctor, I need you to get the helicopter's attention." The helicopter goes to the pad. They're about to leave. The truck pulls up with the dude in the briefcase. Hey! And then he's like, okay, we got you. Get on. Where's everybody else? They died. Okay. Then the flare goes off. They say, we got to turn around. He's like, no, you don't. We got to turn around. And then in that process, the D-Rex is like, yummies. And so then Doc's like, okay, the helicopter's coming back. D-Rex already crunched it, and the guy's dead. And then you can see the suitcase fly somewhere else. And they're like, well, we're still trying to get the suitcase. Or something like that. But... that would have gave it at least like, okay, the villain thought he made it away, but the villain didn't even get like the hey, I made it away. No, the D-Rex said, they were really trying to get that 3D, and then just bite the head off, which is the most gruesome kill. I think they saved like that kill in the previous kill because it was like, we gotta try to make this PG-13. Every other kill was like blurred off screen. So
are you talking about when they had the flying dinosaur? And he's getting eat up like a
he's
baby
peeing
bird.
and
no.
That one. The flying one. He was clumping. That was kind of gruesome.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't see none of his parts get chopped off, it was just like we swallowed him whole. But
I guess the only blood we saw was when Spinosaurus killed the one girl on the beach. Because the blood like soaked the sea. But you know what really felt like, dang, this is no stakes. When he pulled the gun, because he was like, "Oh, he's gonna get the gun, guys."
Yeah, he got the gun.
He pulled the gun, and she was still ready to fight. I was like, "I'm ready to fight him too." He is not threatening.
Yeah.
I don't care if I get shot. You should have shot him.
Like
you should have shot a girl.
In the jungle. He's not threatening at all.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm not threatening. You didn't even dress for the equation. Give me that suitcase. I'm handcuffing it to myself. That had no stakes because he abandoned the crew anyway. It should have been a moment where it was like the dinosaur's about to get him. They're like, man, fuck you. But I got the suitcase. But it's like, if we don't care about the money, I don't care about the suitcase. But then it's like, no, you gotta care about the heart disease thing. So it's like, okay. And you have to force the characters to, even though they hate him, to save him. So it's like, hey, us as characters are better than him because he was willing to let that girl die. But we still saved him even though we know he's a dickhead. They didn't have that moment. He just got to the car and drove off, and then he drove into the D-Rex. D-Rex said, boy, Cruncher, come here. And action figure them.
The kid pizza chicken. And it was like, oh, like they were behind, like, you know, they mutated on, and then you got D-Rex, and it was like, oh,
Yes, like,
what are we gonna do? Is the T-Rex gonna kill the kid? No
stage. He's gonna get out. Oh my god, Duncan's gonna make it. Slides through, bar shut. What is the mother sword? What was the dinosaur that got trapped inside dude? Oh man.
Mutated on.
Look next time.
Yeah, he went.
All throughout this final act, it's finding every nook and cranny to get to these people. Through the top of the convenience store, going into the vents, smelling the vents, opening up vents, going through. Get stopped by this. Oh man. See you later.
Time to go away.
Like, huh? What? And so now, the thing now, going back to like the characters, like I said, Zora, flat character, didn't have any range of emotion. I think I would have hoped for any range of emotion, but like it's partially the director's fault really, because it's like you should say, hey, let's have some more flavor here, because Scarlett Johansson can have some more flavor than this. None. Pharmaceutical guy, I guess you're fine. You're supposed to be unlikable. Fine, yeah. I guess. Doc, I actually liked Johansson. He was pretty cool. I mean, that's what he looked like the whole time. I was like, all right, this man looks like Johansson.
When he said his name was freaking Dr. Loomis, I was like, oh, is this Friday? Is this Friday 13th?
Halloween.
Duncan, I give the credit to the character, like, stood on his grounds and was like, I care about the kids and I care about this family, because he was a family man type of thing. Even though his relationship didn't fail, he stood on that. But what I will say is the chemistry between him and Zora, this is the scene that we definitely were talking about in the beginning. Zora and Duncan have like a debrief kind of scene with each other where they're like, hey, how's it been? I know it's been a while. What's going on? And it was just like, this ain't clicking, dude. Like, it felt like y'all was the first time y'all was reading the lines. Oh, what happened to, I don't know his name, Bob? Oh, yeah, it's not good. Dang, he's gone. What happened? Car bomb in Yemen. Huh? I'm like, whoa! Car bomb in Yemen on a test. We're just doing a simple test drill.
On a Tuesday?
What do you mean car bomb in Yemen? On a simple Tuesday test drill.
It would have made more sense if her character specifically had more experience with dinosaurs. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, it's like, I just got
but she was just a mercenary.
That would have made more sense. But she just seemed like a garden variety mercenary. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I just kill people. And now we gotta have
like
you out here with dinosaurs? Huh?
If you say so.
And then these are mercenaries with no weapons, no guns, no nothing. We have a tranquilizer gun. Huh? Oh yeah. And what do you think is gonna happen? This is a scene. I promise you guys. This is scenes. It's not bar for bar, but it's really close. Doctors, the dickhead guy on the mercenary team. I forgot his name. Angry white guy. He's like, so what do you happen if like something happens? He's like, well, we got this tranquilizer gun. Please tell me you're not gonna kill. He's like, you don't tell me you're not gonna say like we can't kill him. And he's like, no, it's a sin to kill him. But it's like, what are you gonna do? You tranquilize a Spinosaur. What are you killing him with? We have no other weapons.
I think it paralyzes them and then they like just die. Like it was like a neurotoxin.
He said it was a trank gun. So, best case scenario, we're paralyzing them and then they slowly die. But it's like...
Yeah, it was a neurotoxin.
You got one of these. They had one of those guns. You can argue that maybe when the girl died on the beach, she took away all the guns. They didn't even say that. Yeah. They were just like, yeah, we have no weapons. And it's like, huh?
And
they didn't have no weapons on the boat or nothing.
He just happened to just find that gun. And it's like from that random, that ship. Yeah.
Yeah, from that guy, the pharmaceutical guy. He happened to find the gun from the wreck.
Yeah.
Yep, from the wreck. Ridiculous.
Yeah. That happened to work and happened full clip. But
that was like very convenient.
It's just okay.
Very.
I was like, was he? Yeah, it was in the guy's hand. Yeah.
Also, the gun audio was horrible. It was very, very bad. When he was shooting that gun, I was like, this sounds like a 2003 video game. Like, this is really bad. And they're like under a car. It was no bass, no nothing. Anyway.
He tried their best.
And then it's like he's he's shooting. At first, I thought the dinosaur was just taking the bullets. I'd be like, oh, these are threatening.
Yeah.
No, you're missing.
Because it's going in the water.
Yeah, I was like, oh. Then when she actually had like half the clip, she killed the whole dinosaur that we're scared of, we're terrified of. For the past 15 minutes, she killed him with like 5 bullets. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
If we had guns, this would be sweet. We wouldn't have to be scared about shit.
Yeah, it just...
Guns. Because it's illegal. It was illegal for them to go there, so they didn't want to.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, we're not gonna have no guns. We're not gonna do. You're mercenaries. Everything. Your job is illegal. Who cares? Bring a rifle. This ain't no game.
I mean, the one guy did, and he got chastised for it.
He bought a trait gun and got it, and it was like, whoa, Doc, I love you, Doc. We can't do this, man. We gotta. You see that Spinosaurus on your cheeks. It's either you or him. You or it.
They weren't gonna be like shoot out a Spinosaurus.
Oh no. But
There's no way about that one.
But still, it's like, come on, man. And so, that's the whole characters with those. Like, that's how I feel about all those characters. And we are missing, like you said, Doctor, a whole researcher character. Researcher character could have added in a whole new dynamic with, I'm talking specifically about the mercenary crew with the pharmaceutical guy. Could have added a whole new dynamic to where it would have been like, they got there, they found like kind of a site or something, like a little camp, makeshift camp. Hello, anybody alive? Researcher person comes out, huh, somebody here? Whoa. And then you just have them be there to explain all of these situations and these mutated dinosaurs to us. And what they're capable
they
of.
could have just hired somebody.
Or they could have hired somebody as well.
Yeah.
That's another route as well. I would have liked to have banter between the doc and the researcher, where you have the doc who understands, like, I understand the textbook aspect of this, and you have the researcher who's like, well, this is what it is when you're on the mutated spectrum. And so now we have to go back and forth to use our knowledge together in order to figure out how we go through this.
Yeah, because they would have all been in the laboratory, so they didn't see them in their habitat.
So I think that would have been really cool to have that little dynamic.
They didn't do that.
Going to the family, at first I was like, why the hell is this family here? And honestly, why the hell is this family here?
They never explained it. Like,
to be
they
honest,
were just out in the middle of the ocean. And it's like...
It was like the one last hurrah before she went to college.
Like, why do you need to be in these dangerous...
Forced?
They're in, like, these dangerous, like, forbidden waters. Like, why are they there?
What do you mean? People go across the Atlantic all the time.
That's what he says. Like, it's like 5,500 boats out here. Not no damn small sailboat going across the equator.
I don't know.
Homie was sleep deprived.
We're cooked.
He was sleep deprived.
I didn't need a full explanation, but it just seems so strange that it just went completely unexplained. Like, it was just weird. Yeah.
It was just like, we just do it all the time. We do it all the time.
It was like they just felt like, okay, we have these mercenaries, this researcher, we need some civilians. And it's like, they didn't even bother to come up like...
It's a family picture. It's a family
But again,
picture.
they didn't...
It's a family show.
They didn't even bother to come up with like a interesting background. Like, the only thing you learn about this family is that, he's divorced to, their mother, and like, they say that, she's never going to trust him with them again, which again, she shouldn't, honestly. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
way.
like Part
There's
3,
absolutely no way.
Jurassic Park 3 had a family too, but like the whole plot of that was they hired what was the main guy's name from the first movie? That was like the researcher that Dr. Loomis was under in this movie during his time.
I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I'm blanking on his name.
I remembered yesterday. I can't remember the day. Let's see.
My goodness, I can't believe I'm blanking on it.
3. I know, right? Anyway, so yeah, who is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Alan Grant. So Alan, it was like, oh, this divorced couple that like lost their kid on a boat ride. So like, the kid was surviving by himself, and it was like a rescue mission. So like the two parents were like worried about it, but they're divorced, so there was like, oh, okay, whatever. And Alan's like, your kid might be dead, guy. Like you tricked me. Thankfully they like found out very early on that the kid was alive, and they were just like doing it. But anyway, it was just so like the family was like the Kirby family. The Kirby family had more sustenance to them. It was a better like family dynamic, even though they had that inner group issues like this cast does, but
basically this
it just
family
felt like they were there.
Dad, older sister, I don't remember her name. Isabella was his younger sister, and then Xavier, which was like boyfriend of the older sister. And we find out pretty early on that Xavier is just a straight up piece of shit. Like he's just not good, and he's lazy, doesn't care, probably stinks. Yep.
I thought he was gonna be fodder for the dinosaurs, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be easy peasy fodder.
It was like, I was wrong about you. No, you weren't. But you weren't, sir.
Yeah, okay, so like, before we get to that scene, early on, after like the first, like when they get rescued and then they're trying to get out and the Mosasaur comes back again onto the mercenary boat and everything, and there's a moment where the dad he saves the little girl, the Isabella, hurts his leg in the process. He says, "Hey, older daughter, can you go to the radio, call Mayday?" Granted, the older daughter was competent because she knew where the coordinates was and she knew to call Mayday. So I was like, all right, cool. She's competent for that. She goes over there to call Mayday, but the pharmaceutical guy, he like chases after her. He's like, hey, this is a secret thing. We can't have nobody coming out here. Get out. And so he basically kind of shoves her off, and then the boat kind of tilts. She falls all the way out. She's holding on to the side of the boat. She can't hold on any longer.
Help me! Help me!
Splashes into the water.
Help me!
Xavier instinctly was just like, lifeguard thing. Alright, he dives in. This is like the best thing he does.
Nina, by the way.
Nina, okay. That's the best thing he does. He's jumps in, splash, tries to get to the older sister, Nina.
Yep.
During this, the dad is like, well, Bella. At this point, it was not sure, in my eyes, it was not sure that Duncan was gonna crash the boat.
Yep.
So I was like, you could kind of stay on.
Yeah.
But he's like,
if they did, they would have stayed together.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, we gotta go. So
Zoro was like, guys, we should stick together, and they jump off the boat. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, and
did
like Isabella and him just like, ready? Yes, and I'm like, oh, you realize there's a Mosasaur to your left, Spinosaurus to your right. We just seen like chomp, chomp, chomp on the white woman in the front. Why are we jumping out the boat?
Yeah.
Whee!
I mean,
it's shallow enough.
By that time, the boat was like pretty fast, so it was. I mean, the Spinosaurus had no problem going to shallow waters. It was supposedly the Mosasaur that had the problem.
But the Spinosaurus is just like, okay, see ya, bye, have a beautiful time. Whoa, what we doing? And then of course the Mosasaur was like, okay, it's too deep for me. All right, I'm getting out. But then the Spinosaurus was like, actually, we're here. And then they were on the beach like, yarn emoji. See that white woman? Yeah. Chomps.
That's it. It was a wrap after that.
Where was the Spinosaurus for the other people? But they just happened to get into a safe little canal. Somehow all find each other in the midst of dinosaurs being in the water. Like dinosaur infested water. It's more than one. It's like multiple. And they was able to go through and just find each other and get all to the little like canal and everything. And it was like, we're safe. Everybody okay? Shout out to the dad. He hurt his leg. I don't know what happened to the leg, but we heard a crack. That man was going on it. The whole film, he was crouching, jumping, had to do a run. I thought it was gonna be a point where the dad was just too slow. He's gonna like John Kennett. He's gonna be like, I just gotta die for the dinosaur to let my family get away. But he made it. I was like, okay, cool.
I felt like there was no things. I was like, all the times when the character should have died, they did.
And I feel like he broke his leg just so they can have an excuse to slow him down in certain moments, and then certain moments they just forgot that his leg was broken. Yeah.
He was like, I'm getting through it. Exactly.
I don't know.
The worst best character.
And so somehow throughout all of this, they keep their stuff. They keep their stuff in their pockets. I don't know how they do this. Xavier still has weed in his pocket. I don't know how he does that. Bella still has her bag full of red vines and everything. I don't know how that all survives in the deep waters of the ocean in panic mode, but all of it survived. And
I'm pretty sure those bags were open too. So like, was she
yeah, so I'm like,
water?
I don't even know. Hey, at this point, they had nothing to eat for 24 plus hours. So I was like, I'm chopping on this salt water. I'm chopping on it. Them boys was not eating. Nobody ate. They didn't care, and they were like, okay.
They didn't need to eat.
There was no.
They're fine.
They was on the boat.
They
for
had
a whole
water though,
night, remember?
so they might have had ration. Oh, at least the mercenary group had like
the
maybe
family
ration.
was on the boat, but like for a whole like day cycle. That's scary because the think about that, being in the middle of the ocean on a side of a boat, dinosaurs in the water, pitch black.
I don't think it was a whole day cycle.
It literally happened.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? You're right.
It was
and
it was a night scene with the doc in Zora. Then it was like, wake up, driver. Oh, sorry, bro, I gotta pee.
Yep,
Mayday.
Yeah, you're right.
So they was calling Mayday the whole night. I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Cause I can't sleep on that boat, bro. You got me messed up. After that, most of just toppled it. It could just boom, like it never went for the finishing slam. It could have said, "Wow," and it would have been done. Didn't
it
do
felt
that.
like Dune. It just felt like the Dune worms, or it's like, oh, I got on the rocks.
Wait, come on. It's like, come on. But okay, and then like Xavier, like he said, like we said, saves Nina, and then he basically just him doing his heroic attempt to save her was enough in the dad's eye to be like, oh, he's not.
What's wrong about you?
Maybe, and then he says this. They have a scene where it's like they kind of get to a small part on night 2, basically, of this whole adventure. And they have like a small little campfire thing. Not too much to bring attention, but it's enough to get a little bit of warmth. And Xavier comes over with some more sticks and twigs and stuff to add to the fire. He's like, hey, I got the watch, Pops. Don't worry. And Pop's like, really? Wow. What's kind of wrong about you, man? And Xavier says, no, you're right. I'm lazy as hell.
Like...
So we tried to give your character some redemption, and you said, no, X that out. I'm actually just not good. I'm not a good guy. I don't know what your daughter sees. He says, bar for bar, I don't know what your daughter sees in me. We as the audience don't know either. And after this scene, Xavier does nothing to make it seem like he benefited the team in any way.
End quote. And what she said too is like, it took me a while too. I'm like, I still don't understand what.
He had a lot. He's like, the dad was like, I don't know why you like him.
From that point on, he was just kind of there. Like he wasn't upset. Yeah, he wasn't obsessively
the background guy.
Awful the rest of the movie, but he was just kind of just there. Yeah.
No, he was doing his job and stuff.
But
yeah, no.
It wasn't causing like major issues once they got off the boats. I don't know. It felt like a waste. It felt like I was watching a peanut butter sandwich movie without the peanut butter and without the jelly.
And shout out to Doc somehow falling from like halfway up the reservoir area, hitting just big leaves. Like this doesn't work like that in real life, guys. I promise you, it doesn't work like this in real life. You're dead because he fell off the side of a cliff, hit a couple of leaves, and went into like some.
I mean, they were like branches. Like he definitely hit those branches, but like
no.
Sure, your back ain't broke, your leg ain't broke, your arm ain't broke, and he hits into like what 5 foot worth of water because he was able to get up and traverse through it. It wasn't even that deep. And he was like, oh, and then what's going to flow next to him?
I don't know.
Mission complete, guy. Get the fuck out of my face. They did it twice. Where it's like, damn, we almost died. Mission complete bubble, like it's a video game. Wow, we barely made it through the Mega T-Rex. Raph comes up under the rock. Get out! What?
It was just so convenient. So convenient. Like they came down immediately after he hit the ground. And I'm like, how the hell did you get down so fast?
Yeah, like through the steps. And then how did Zora find where the steps was?
Yeah.
She was in the middle area.
She rappelled down.
No, she came on the steps.
She rappelled down.
She rappelled down?
Yes.
She did?
Alright. Okay.
With no one supporting her, she rappelled down.
I don't remember her. I thought she came out the step hole.
No. It was 2-step hole, and then she went doo doo doo. I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But no one was there to like support her, so she just set it up by herself, I guess, in like 2 seconds. But he could have been dead down there, and she would have just saw that man dead, I guess.
Doctor, no! That's
Doctor, leave it alone. It's fine.
Doctor, No, that's how she sounded when he fell all the way off that cliff. Oh, it's like,
and I think I saw like a spoiler of that scene. So I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this scene already. This is trash.
Now, moving to the third act, the family finds the village, which is the abandoned site.
Yep.
Now, I'm gonna give credit in this regard. This area is a big, vast area, but this was my biggest issue with the entire film. We are here. Of course, there was the junior villain dinosaurs that were like, hey, they're attacking the group. They were forced to split up, which was like, huh? But okay, split up. That's what Barf Bar, she says, Zora says, split up! Okay. I don't know about that. Maybe we could all use like a stick or something to try to hit a... But okay, let's split up and have them easily isolate us and eat us. But split up, that's fine. Anyway, and we have a product placement scene inside of the convenience store where they just said how much candy can we shove in these people's face, and chips can be shoved in their face. Doritos, Cheetos, M&M's, Snickers, Twix, everything. Just here, throw it in your face. Somehow Dolores comes back. We haven't talked about Dolores. Dolores is a little small Triceratops, or I think it's a different. It's not even a Triceratops. It's a.
It's like a. What is this?
Baby dinosaur. This is all I'm gonna say. Baby dinosaur that's there just for the we're gonna sell merch. That's all it's there for. Didn't really do much besides technically alert the group, the family, like one time, and it was just a cute pet. Yeah. That's gonna die when they give it to me.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
Yep.
It will.
Yep.
She was. Yeah.
It will die. They made it a whole point the whole movie. Yeah. Dinosaurs can't live above the equator because it's not not good enough.
So, thumbs up. You just killed a baby dinosaur after like he's gonna.
And
have
of course, the equator is only equal to anywhere near the Americas, right? Like there's no. We don't talk about the.
Oh no, we can't forget that line where Xavier was being a jackass, and then the dad says they already talk about us. We can't give them something else to talk about. Like what does he say? Something like that. You remember? It was like they already talk about. Don't give them something else to say. Like when he was like talking about like their hair, like people talking down on. I don't know what race they were supposed to be in this film.
I know
what you're talking about.
I'm not sure. But it was like a nod to like racial inequality, which I'm not mad about. But it was just like Xavier didn't change his act. They just didn't focus on him anymore.
Aqualops is the name of the species of Dolores. Heard before.
Aqualops.
That was.
I mean, it was cute. I'm not mad at it. It was cute.
Early Cretaceous period.
So, that's fine. Now.
How's the Velociraptor? Never mind. This is the
when we're at the facility.
Yeah, the facility.
Pretty much, I don't think that the D-Rex felt threatening enough to the wildlife. I think you should have had one of two different things you happen with the D-Rex. Either the D-Rex, when it shows up, every other dinosaur evacuates like far. I'm talking about out of there. So it makes sense why the D-Rex hasn't just overran most of the area, period. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. He is the apex. There's nothing that's touching that guy.
Yeah. Because
it has the long arms and the baby arms, and it's like, it's doing this to everything. Just, you're done. So, and this is something that I think the broader sense of the island should have had. The movie only shows us two mutated dinosaurs. This one that had like two heads and was kind of small, and then the D-Rex. This facility had to have more mutated dinosaurs, correct or no?
Yeah. The Mutodon is
the Mutodon is the other one, so it's three.
Well, I mean, like the Spinosauruses were slightly mutated. They had like weird coloration. They were more like crocodile-like. The was it Giganosaurus? It's like almost Ultrasaur-like. Those guys were mutated.
Okay, so everything was mutated.
Yeah, technically everything was. Like I said,
I think they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. That was my complaint where it didn't feel like everything was mutated. I think we should have had more. I think we should have had generations of the two-headed dinosaurs. We should have had generations of D-Rexes. We should have had generations because they left it for 32.
That thing was a test tube.
Yeah, I'll give you that. These things were like test tube, but we should have had generations, which we did, but they were slightly altered mutations, where it's like the mutation kind of doesn't really matter. I need some like freakazoid.
I mean, the Mutodon was a pretty good design, but we didn't get it to Act 3.
Yeah.
Same thing with D-Rex. It was like...
With the D-Rex, exactly. So we didn't get the cool stuff to the Act 3. The first two acts, we should have had the whole island been like just crazy mutated, like, what the hell are we looking at? To where the doctor's like, guys, I don't know what's going on. I thought I knew what these were, but I don't know. Yeah. Then you have this researcher character that existed on the island who's like, oh, that originated from what you're looking for. That base, this a basis of the Quetzal, the things we're looking for. So it's like, oh, this is not how I remember the this dinosaur that we're looking for the sample for. Oh, well, it's a mutated version, but we can still get the sample. The sample should still work. And that's where you have these two researching doctor characters interact in order to progress the plot forward. When this thing is mutated, why is it still easy peasy? We understand where it is, track it, there it is, go. I get it, DNA similarities, but it should also be different enough to where it's like we can't just know exactly where it is.
The only one that Dr. Limbus was tracking and figured out where it was to get to its nest was the last one. And still, I feel as if it should have been some sort of differences. I feel like all of these dinosaurs that we're tracking should have had some sort of differences to make it be like, whoa, this is much more difficult than we thought it was going to be. Yeah, it was just like, oh, here's the same dinosaur, but with a little bit of different coloration.
Well, color, differentiation, maybe
some frills.
Here, maybe
here's a long tail. Like,
yeah, and it's like, but it's still the same. And we're going to have to tackle it the same way. Like, we still approach it the same way. Imagine an aggressive version of that, not Ultrasaur, what was it called?
It was the Giganosaurus or something.
Giganosaurus. Imagine an aggressive version of that, where they try to make a mutated version of an aggressive version, to where it has like attacking traits, or it wants to do something like its neck is spiky or something, and it wants to swing its neck like a giraffe. Something just different. Just something different, because at this point we're in the realm where you don't have to isolate yourself down to traditional dinosaur constraints. This is what we're doing. We're testing, we're mixing stuff together. Make something crazy. The D-Rex was a cool design. That was it. I mean, well, no, I'll take that back. The Mutodon was also cool, too. Those two were cool, but that's all you gave us.
That's it.
And I would have loved for the whole island to just been mutated at that point, because it's been left alone for 30 years.
Yeah, because they had raptors. That's going to
survive is these mutations.
They had raptors for the P scene. That's it. There's a P scene. The Mutodon came down, ate him up.
Yeah.
Had the pushing.
And it was like, and out. Which I'm like, this is what would happen. I need you guys to breed. It wasn't just one Mutodon. Breed. Do something. Make some more. Junior Mutodon. Something. You tell me all these are sterile? Because y'all wouldn't want it to be sterile. Y'all were trying to make a whole attraction about it. You want to keep making this.
So, funny thing is, they did want them to be sterile.
Oh, they did want to be sterile? All right, my fault.
So the original,
that's fair.
In the original park, all of the dinosaurs were women.
Yeah.
So they mutated their genome because they were spliced with like this frog that could do that, and that's how they were able to actually mate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, they didn't want these. They wanted to control the dinosaur to be. They didn't want it to be like everywhere. So
okay.
So they that was the original design, but then life finds a way.
Then yeah, we could have kept the life finds a way idea, where it's like, hey, at this point, we just left it alone for 32 years. At the very least, the D-Rex should have been an overarching villain throughout the entire film.
Yep. Once you like in every other movie,
should have been like, I could just walk around.
The case.
That's the gimmick.
Every other movie.
The D-Rex. Why is the D-Rex only coming out at night and staying around the facility? It's been 32 years, bro. You can walk wherever you want on this island, and there's not a single dinosaur that's going to threaten you, bro. You have 4 arms. Boy can. Every dinosaur, that's happening to them, and he's finger licking good in every dinosaur. That's on the except for the I guess the Gigantosaur, but even then, if he wants to kill it, he can kill it. Just like, grab it with 2 hands, throw it up, it lands on his head, bite it in the stomach. It's like it's easy peasy. T-Rex, you can't box him. He had them like orangutan gorilla arms.
Yeah.
It would have been like, smack that boy. Like, it's no challenge. D-Rex should have been chasing them minute 1. Or, like, not minute 1, but, like, early on. Like, when it hit, like, nighttime, you should have been hearing stomps. Like, whoa, maybe you have it to where it's like, okay, maybe he's nocturnal. When it hits night, he comes out.
I think when the Giganosaurus came in, that would have been, like, a natural, like, hey, he's hunting them. Because there was, like, so many. There were so many. They breed it out.
Yeah.
There was so many in that herd.
It was a lot. Which was like, okay, this is a beautiful scene. But that's where I'm saying it should have been like that for all mutated life. Which I guess is now it kind of was. But at the same time, these predators should have, at this point, these predators are above natural constraints.
Yep.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mega T-Rex, sure, you can sit by the pond and do your job, and you can, okay, I can't dominate the whole island. This D-Rex is godlike. Like, he's godlike. In fact, you know what would have been a great scene? If the Mega T-Rex was there, and they're like, oh no, and then the D-Rex it says, no, and just easy peasy chomps him up, and it's like, hey, I'm the real guy you gotta be facing here. And it's like, oh, guys, we gotta go.
Yeah. Yep.
We got to go.
Gots to go.
So, I wish it was like just more creative mutations, as well as like, because everything as me just as a regular viewer, it didn't feel mutated. I needed this stuff to look. I know it's trying to get the PG-13, not scare the kids, but like, bro, go rated R. Give me give me 2 heads, bro. Give me tail sticking out the stomach. I need some weird stuff going on here. So that's what makes it scary. Where it's like, I don't know what's going on. What was that? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was supposed to be like a whole like mutated plot line. I thought the DX was the only one that's going to be mutated.
Yeah, but it was like they were doing a whole thing in there. So it was like...
It's like, oh, did I tell you this whole thing was a research facility? No.
I mean...
Didn't matter? No. What were you saying, Ghost?
I guess my biggest issue is that once we hit the island, we had very little sense of geography. Like, they didn't know where they were going. We didn't know where... Like, it just... Yeah.
It was just like, go straight,
it's just like, we'll hope that, these group of characters will come to the same spot. Like, it's just... Everything just felt so convenient, and it just felt like things were just falling into place. And I know it's a story. Like, I know. But it's like, it just was like... It just...
Yeah. It didn't
there was a lot of falling into place moments.
Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, of course. We have this answer.
And another thing that didn't make sense to me is that this research facility has been abandoned for decades. Yeah,
32
a long time.
Yeah, it
was 20. It was like 28
years.
Yeah,
20-some years, like 17, 20
years.
Yeah.
Years.
So I'm like, so this island has had all this power, all this energy for like 20 years, and like nightly, this research stuff comes on and attracts the mutated dinosaurs, and it's like, it didn't really make too much sense to me.
After year 2, I think the dinosaurs would be bored. It's like, okay, this happens. This just happens. This is a part of life.
Yeah.
Why would I show up to it?
It just seemed to. I don't know.
Like, nobody activated it. All we did was a simple, like, activate generator type of thing. Like, I think this is a switch, guys. Doom, the whole place opens up. Okay, boom. But it was just like they stepped on it. Boom, boom, boom. They play the song. And it's like, okay.
And it's like, also, it's like,
oh yeah, it's like a daily routine.
The D-Rex is supposed to be, the big boss, like the big deal. It's like, we barely get a good look at it. Barely. And I know... Yeah, they're trying to hide it, and it's like, and I mean, like, I get trying to, like, get the suspense of it, but it's like, you really don't truly get a true sense of what a monster this is. You don't really see it, you're just supposed to just, okay, this is the big threat now, and it's like you said, like, if you were to brought the T-Rex in it, and, like, they were, to go at it.
Yeah, and then he just easy peasy.
And I felt, I would, as a... Of course, everyone loves T-Rex. Like, everyone loves T-Rex. But I'm like, I would have loved... Yeah, it would have
set the stage.
So I just... Yeah.
It didn't
and
feel...
And then also, it's like, you put the T-Rex smack dab in the middle of the movie and then never come back to it. And it's like, I know... Like, that scene is in there for a very specific reason. They put that in there because that scene is basically in the original novel. It like that scene of like the T-Rex going after them in the raft. That was in the original Jurassic Park novel, and they couldn't fit it into the original movie, so they wanted to kind of work it in here. That's why it's in here. But it doesn't make any sense because the T-Rex is not really in this movie, so they just randomly put it in there. So,
Yep.
yeah. So I like the idea behind the scene, and I do personally think it was well done, honestly. But it was pretty much pointless. Pretty much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the dinosaurs did. I feel like dinosaurs they play with the fact that they have like that hunter aspect. I feel like in other films they were more like hunters, where you always have to look over your shoulder because they may be still here, they may be still looking at you, trying to get you. And in this one, it's like, oh, you got through the dramatic scene, no threat. There's no threats out here. You're good, cool. And it's like, like for instance, when we first saw the Mutant, it's like he did the whole thing behind everyone when he's peeing, and it's like, oh, I didn't notice this guy right here. I'm out here, I'm leaving.
You know, gotta finish the comedic scene by having them pee.
Yeah, having him pee, which was funny how the fact that in a moment where you can usually pee yourself, you stop peeing. So I think that was pretty interesting. But I don't know, like it's, I mean, this is some things that I'm like, I want to talk about the overarching plot, the reason they were going to the island is just because the pharmaceutical companies are trying to develop a drug to help cure heart disease. And obviously the pharmaceutical guy was bad. He's working for one specific company. They did not list any company names. And obviously, if he got this, it's implied that he was gonna have the company was gonna charge high premiums and be really inaccessible for people who were poor to get the medicine. And like they said in the statistic in the like beginning of the film, like 1 in 5 people die from heart disease. So it's really important that this medicine goes to a lot of people. That's what the doctor then says to Zora about the way through the film, and Zora's like, "But zeros, like, we should open source this. What much money we get for open source again? Nothing. Zeros, man, zeros. Well, think about it. And that also piggybacks on the fact that Zora and the Doc had like this kind of like, are they gonna try to get together? I don't know, because I don't think I should watch this to give it another part with these characters. So I don't think they should do part 2 and the Doc and Zora finally together. No, he should have shot your shot here. But they had like some like, oh, okay, look at her, she's kind of cool. I'm trying to impress her. Oh, I almost fell, repelling. You okay, Doc? Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah.
And then they both had moments. They both had moments where they were looking at each other like, okay, Doc's pretty confident. Zora girl's pretty I'm trying to say competent. And so they didn't do nothing with that. So they had like little tease. They were maybe trying to be like, hey, guys, on a date or something like that. Didn't shoot no shot. It could have been a great end of the film on like the raft leaving. So what are you gonna do after this? I was thinking I could maybe take you on a date. You know what? I like the sound of that, Doc. Roll credits.
I think it was mainly
But
like
no.
Zora finding her humanity in not doing everything just for money.
Yeah, which when she again go back to those scenes, we had like 2 or 3 scenes where it was like, "Are you gonna do it for the money?" And she finally came around on it. Her tone, her attitude, nothing changed. So it didn't
there was no
like
real
was
sense
really
of
about
progression to her. It's just like, okay, we need her to start at this. We need her to start at this place where she's all about the money, and then she ends up to where she cares about, doing what's right. But it's like you don't really get to see that. And it's like the script doesn't give her enough depth for us to see her progress. So it just didn't work for me. And then as for like the whole, pharmaceutical, and then giving it to the pharmaceutical companies and then, open sourcing it, I get it. I just think the way the movie handles it is far too heavy-handed and far too simplistic. And again, I understand it. I know I get it, but I just think it's just way too simplistic. And I feel like, especially considering real world things today, I just think is way too simplistic. Like, again, I do think that sort of thing is important, but I think it just handles it way too simplistically. I didn't really care for that.
Remember we said at the beginning when they were like, "Oh, we have competitors. Where are the competitors?" I was like, I was really expecting to see a singular other person,
like maybe like other people coming in. Like hey, we had the same idea, but it's like
because it was like this was
they just
because it was almost as if this was like the only pharmaceutical company in the world, and I'm like, that's no.
Yeah.
Because there would be like competition. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody would have talked about this. Somebody would have been like, hey, people are planning on maybe trying to go to that place.
Yeah, maybe that could have added some more, stakes. Yeah.
Yeah, just like a rival team, at least one rival team or something. And like,
again, my main issue is this just seems way too rushed. Because again, like all these different things they could have done to like kind of make everything mesh a little better, they didn't do, because again, it's like basically they just went at the first draft of this. That's what it seems like, and I think.
So that's gonna get tickets.
Yeah.
And now it's competing with Superman coming soon.
Don't guys, if you got a couple dollars, 4th of July weekend, I know you guys want to go and like watch it
or go see F1.
I mean,
go see F1, bro.
I mean,
go rewatch Sinners if it's still.
I mean, I would go if you have like A-list,
like
Materialist.
that was good. I would recommend that. But because the thing is,
if
it's
you
like
have A-list, go see on matinee, sure.
A-list, you just go see whatever.
Yeah, because
you go see whatever and it gets you the two. Yeah,
what format did we see this in? We saw this at RPX and Regal.
Yeah, that was like their Dolby.
It doesn't feel like a Dolby. It doesn't feel like
a Dolby.
But I would say if you were to see it,
version of Dolby.
I say see it in Dolby. Like, don't bother 3D. Don't bother like if you're going to see it, if you're going to see this movie, see it.
Don't see it in 4DX.
Nah, it's probably fun in 4D. Don't waste your money on it. But if someone said like, "Hey, you want to go with me?" and you don't have to pay, sure. Like, it's some the water scenes will be fun. It's spray the water on you.
And if I'm being honest, like the previous Jurassic World movies, this does play pretty well in like a full audience, I would say. So again, I don't think, because to be honest with you, I feel like if I were to see this at home or in like where it was just like, no, I wouldn't. Or if it was just me in the theater, which I've done many times, like I've seen movies early where it was just me in the theater, I don't think I would have enjoyed it. Like, I think this needs a audience in a theater, like to enjoy it. And I feel like,
but even our audience was like doing their best.
They were laughing at all the jokes, and I'm looking to my left, looking to my right, like this ain't it. This ain't funny.
I was laughing at them.
Funny
because the thing is, the previous Jurassic World trilogy, had their moments. I think the first one was good, second one was okay, last one not good. But I've seen all of those in a crowded theater, and I would say they all play, even including this one, they played similarly. Like, to a general audience, I think this is probably the one franchise that plays the most consistently, I would say. Like, outside of all like the big franchises,
I think to the fans,
for like the hardcore fans,
I
don't think this is going to work. But for a more general audience, I think this is going to work for them. But for like hardcore fans, I don't think this is going to. I think this will rank low for a lot of people, for a lot of fans.
I mean, right now, Rotten Tomatoes is at before even audience.
Yeah.
Get into it. Rotten Tomatoes is like 53%.
Yeah, I think 50.
Not going anywhere. It might just go worse than that.
No, I agree with that. That's the one time I agree with the critics. Like, I agree with it. It's about 50 something.
50%. IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. So, Cloudy's 5.5 was pretty generous. Ghost 6 is very generous, and then I gave it a Jurassic 3 out of 10. So,
yeah. So, I give it 5.5.
Okay.
D-Rexes. 5.5 D-Rexes.
All right. I started out at a 6. I'll just say 5.5 because the more I sit on it, the more I sit on it, the more it's just like, this is.
It's just like it just starts going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there before.
There are some cool like spectacles to look at it. I do think that if you look past like why is family here? If you look past that, the scenes that we have in the first act is actually pretty cool. The whole water aspect scenes are actually pretty cool. The action and everything.
There is like.
Yeah.
To be honest, there was like maybe only a couple like visual effects moments that didn't really feel real, but for the most part, it didn't take me out of the movie. For the most part, it didn't take me out of it.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty well blended.
Yeah, for the most part. Like the doctors touch the Gigantosaurus and stuff like that.
But to be honest,
I think
in that scene,
was, at least the foot was
in
practical.
That scene, I actually didn't like when it panned out to all those. I didn't like it. It just was like. It looked weird, like it did, because it was just so many of them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was too many.
Yeah, it was a ton.
Yeah,
it was like it was to show the depth.
Because I felt like they needed to kind of be like amongst them, like like they were too. Yeah. They were too far in the foreground. It was like it just looked it looked weird. Like that was like the one moment.
There was no sound design to like spoil them either. Like it was like they were like, we're kind of afraid, but there was no audio to be like, why are they afraid? I didn't understand why they're afraid.
I think the audio across the majority of the film was
they need to change the mixing. So if they're gonna do any reprint on this,
like I'm hoping the mix
based on that Mega T-Rex needs some.
Like I'm hoping the 7.1 Dolby mix is better, like in a Dolby Atmos theater. Like I'm sure the theater we had Dolby Atmos, but I don't know. Yeah, but you're right.
You know what, Ghost? How about you?
Oh wow!
We go see this.
No, like
I'm not watching it. I
don't know.
This isn't one donor.
Just take one for the team.
No.
Go see it in Dolby.
I'm just saying Dolby because it's like, 9 times out of 10, like Dolby is like superior. So I don't know. That's why I say, like, if you want to see it,
something's gonna have to say this movie.
There's no IMAX shows for this.
Something's gonna have to say this movie. It's not gonna be.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be. Not gonna be AMC either. Popcorn Bucket's gonna find. Okay. I guess. Well, I think that's all our thoughts, more or less. Thank you guys for joining us on our first episode together. Let us know how you feel about the formatting. We're gonna get some, in-person videos coming. Maybe some live, like just right out the presses, everyone around the phone and the car reactions. Let's just let them know here. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out God Inc. if you like our games. And
we'll be trying to do Superman.
Yeah, Superman is coming up next. That is a lot more exciting. As we were getting closer to the day of us actually watching this movie, it was petering down my excitement of this movie.
Early on, he was like,
I was like, Jurassic has a fight in this game, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, Superman's doing, like, look at these trailers. Like, Superman actually might be cooking. And then, so here we are today. I'm biggest fan. I got a shirt that I was trying to look up a picture of earlier that I can't find. And then, I like Jurassic, guys. I like Jurassic. I love Mr. DNA.
It wasn't a Jurassic flop. I'll give you that. It was
it wasn't a Jurassic flop.
Yeah. Mid.
It was mid JF.
Which you can argue is worse. I don't know.
Like at least commit to being bad.
By the time all throughout all the films that came out this year,
it just felt almost boring in a lot of cases. Yeah. At least for
all right, guys.
But yeah, anyway, again, like I said, thank you guys for joining us.
See ya.
See you guys in the next one.
It's been
Got Reels.
Got Reels.
All right, cool. It's been Got Reels. See you guys next one.